Welcome back, students. As we are discussing inheritance, so today going to cover another very important features of inheritance, that inheritance normally we have used for two purposes: for code reusability, that means previously code was designed and we're just going to use them, and in the second purpose that we have used an inheritance. Okay, another purpose that we have used inheritance, that we can add our own functionality to a base class function by which you can add the new features to the derived class, which will not make any impact over the base class that was previously designed. So to before start this discussion, it's better to go to the shared folder first. Yeah, this is the shared folder that I have already uploaded the required material to understand this lecture and the required source code. So it's better to download that presentation that I've already uploaded in the lecture 5 folder. And during the demonstration, you should download all the source code, and we're going to see how these features is going to help us adding a new functionality to the derived class. Okay, so let's begin with the discussion here. So today's topic for this lecture will be adding new functionality to a derived class. Means how can we add new functionality to a function which was previously designed by the base class. Okay, let's see. Remind one more time what are the major benefits of inheritance. One of the biggest benefits of using derived classes is the ability to reuse already written code. We normally did this for our header files. Header files, we call them library files. Those are already written and pre-compiled. We simply use any library functions or the facilities provided into that source file. Or we can inherit the base class functionality and then we can add new functionality. Means modifying existing functionality or hide functionality that you do not want. So two things that we can do. How can we add new features? By inheriting a new class from the old class, so we can add the functionality there. Okay, so these are the three benefits that the inheritance will provide us. The first that we have, we can add a new functionality. Second, we can modify the existing functionality. Suppose we are inheriting a base class, so we're going to add the new functionality to the old class, like this. Suppose we have a base class here A. Okay, we are inheriting this base class to a new class B. And just consider base class have one function called void. Okay, void fun is the name of the function. It has one function here. Okay, so what do we want? We want to we want to add some functionality to this function. So various way we can do, we'll see the upcoming presentations. Okay, so what do you want? We want derived class B can add new features new features new features to which function? To this base class function. Okay, or we can do what? We can modify the existing function. So we do not want what facility is provided by the base class, but what do you want? We want to use the same function here. We are going to declare this function again, the same function. Which function? Fun function in the derived class. We are going to write the code on our own fun function in the derived class. Okay, so by which you can totally modify what are the features provided by the base class. Or what we can do, we can hide the functionality that we do not want. Suppose base class have another function, fun2. Okay, so base class have another function, fun2. So what do you want? We want to add few functionalities in fun and we do not want to use fun2. So there is also some mechanisms. Okay, so we'll see in the upcoming course. I hope you understand here what you're going to do. Okay, so let's erase them. I hope you understand the content. Okay, Next, what we will learn in this lesson? We're going to learn in this lesson, we'll take a closer look at how each of these things is done. What are the things that I'm going to discuss? How we can do add new functionality, how we can modify the new functionality, or hide the functionality that you do not want. So we're going to see in detail about this. Add new functionality, modify existing functionality, or hide functionality. Okay, so we're going to discuss them in detail. So this is the content for this presentation. Now let's understand what is the need to adding functionality to derived class. So let's try to understand the first point. There may be times when we have access to base class but do not want to modify it. Okay, so that means suppose we can consider the example of header file. We normally can use the library functions that available in our string.h or any other header files. But what if I don't want to modify them? So it is not possible to modify the base class because base class are already pre-compiled and they designed by someone else. It is not designed by you. Okay, assume that base class is designed by someone else and you are going to derive it. So this is the need and one need that you should add functionality to the derived class. Next point. Consider the case where you have just purchased a library code from third-party vendor. Okay, he's compiled everything for you and just provided the code by the third-party vendor. Then how can you modify this thing? It is not possible for you. So what we should follow? We should derive our new class from the already pre-compiled class. So what you can do? You could add the original code. So suppose third-party vendor also provided the source code to you. Okay, third-party vendor already provided the source code to you. Okay, so it has already provided the source code. And suppose that what you are doing, suppose this is the file you collected from the web or any third party. Okay, it has a few lines here. And next, what you want to do, you have the source code now, you have the source code. So what you want to do, you want to add fourth line or any functionality to that file. So it is possible for you for the timing. Now just think about the next point here. What if the vendor sends an update? Now suppose that after 2 days of receiving of this code, vendor send another file, okay, with few modification, okay, few modification to that file. Then what you can do here? You already edited the previous source code. Now vendor is providing a new source file because you are paying to the vendor. Okay, a vendor providing a service to you. So what you can do? You can either you need to check that what functionality you add in the previous base file, it is overwritten by this new file, or you again need to add what are the functionality that you have add in the old source file to the new source file. So you need to add them here again back. So suppose you think there may be multiple functions you might add previously in the old source file. You need to copy them everything again in the new source file. So how many times you can do this? There is only one class, it is possible. If there is a multiple class, then how you can do this thing? So it is might not possible for you. Okay. So let's see, let me erase them. Okay, so what we can do? Alternatively, there is option. There may be times, yeah, there may be times when you are not even possible to modify the base class. For example, that I have already discussed, header files. Header files already pre-compiled. We cannot modify the things inside the header file. So same also true for the third-party libraries. Okay, where you are provided with headers, but the code comes pre-compiled. Code are pre-compiled. So this last 2 point is the most important point for this need of adding functionality to derived class. Okay, last 2 point is the most important. When you are using some header files, or you purchase some third party code, but third party code is already comes with pre-compiled. They are not providing the source file, they are providing the pre-compiled file. Then how can you do this thing? So the last 2 point is most important when you need to add functionality to the derived class. Then what will be the answer? How can we solve this? How can we add functionality to the derived class? The best answer is to derive your own class. This will be the only possible solution. Rather adding, rather adding the content to your file, why not you derive a new class? Okay, derive a new class and add the functionality you want to the derived class. So after deriving the class, you need to add the functionality. This is the only solution we'll have. Okay. Then how to add features to derived class? So we understand the problem. What is the problem? Say suppose we are purchasing a third party content or we are using some header file. Then how can we edit this file? How can we edit? It is not possible for us. The solution for this, derive your own class and add the functionality. So next we're going to discuss how we can add the functionality to the already pre-compiled class by deriving our new class, or how can we add the functionality to the derived class by using the few features from the base class. We're going to discuss this point in the next presentation. I hope you understand what is the need of inheritance now. Very clear. Okay. So this all this point is highlighted this thing here. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll discuss the point. Which point? We'll start our next discussion from this point. How can we add the features to the derived class? We'll see what are the possibilities are there. Thank you very much. I'll encourage you, kindly post your queries again this video lecture or post your queries in LPO Live app.